How's this for a blast to the past? In a first for Singapore, two shipwrecks, one possibly dating back to the 14th century, have been excavated within our waters. Both wrecks were found off Branca and bore Chinese ceramics as their primary cargo, which you could see in museums here from the end of this year. Bringing these artifacts to the surface was a difficult process. Have a look.
Battling strong currents and low visibility, researchers conducted diving operations to recover artifacts from Shipwreck 1 between 2016 and 2019. Excavation works on Shipwreck 2 were carried out from 2019 to 2021. The challenging conditions, coupled with monsoon seasons, often meant that diving down to the wrecks was limited to a week at a time during the best of conditions. The location of the dive sites also limited dive time per day.
Most of the challenges were environmental, so we've got the monsoon, we can't go out there and it's just too rough. Even when we're working, if the typhoon is coming down through the South China Sea, sort of between the Philippines and Vietnam, then there's this massive swell that makes its way all the way down to where we're working, so we can be in one position 1 second and we can be 10 meters behind the next, and sometimes doing a somersault in between. So that's challenging. And similarly, the strong currents can reduce the visibility. Some days it's like being in a swimming pool. It's beautiful. We can see many meters, and other days we have to crawl our way back along our baseline to try and recover or find our mooring line so we can go back up to the vessel. It's just completely pitch black. So we have challenges like that, and of course the long distance. So it's a long commute. Gives me a chance to read the Straits Times on the way out, and most of my fellows sleep on the way there and back.
After all that hard work, the wrecks have yielded their treasures. A wide range of ceramics in a variety of colors was retrieved. A large quantity of zinc ingots, along with parasols and figurines, were also found at the site of the second wreck. Samples of organic materials, which may have been used for packing or used as trade items, were also collected. Pieces of agate, a type of semi-precious stone, metal betel nut cutters, and musical instruments were among the finds. In addition, 4 anchors and 9 cannons were also recovered from Shipwreck 2. The cannons are typical of those mounted on East India Company merchant ships during the late 18th and early 19th centuries, and were used for both defense and signaling.
The Straits Times' journalist Ng Keng Gene has been pursuing this story. He's here to share more. Welcome to the show, Keng Gene. Well, the discovery of the shipwrecks is only coming to light now, but the excavation project has been going on since 2016. Tell us more about that.
Hi, Olivia. Thanks for having me. So, yeah, you're right. The excavation has been going on since 2016, but it's actually, what we know is that there are two shipwrecks. So it's a bit of a story to follow. But what happened was that there were artifacts found in the vicinity of Branca by commercial divers in 2015, and they were civic minded, and they decided to hand over these to the IC's Yusof Ishak Institute. And researchers then dated these ceramic plates to the 14th century. So this 14th century finding was enough to convince researchers that they wanted to conduct a survey in Branca in 2016, and that's when the first wreck was located. Researchers then took about 3 years, so between 2016 and 2019, to conduct an archaeological excavation. And it was in 2019, towards the end of the excavation of Shipwreck 1, that they decided to survey waters around Branca. And this was when Shipwreck 2 was reviewed, and researchers believe that Shipwreck 2 belongs to that of merchant vessel Shah Mun Shah, which sank in 1796. So an excavation for the second shipwreck has been taking place since 2019 this year. And I'm sure one of the questions you're wondering is, why did it take so long for these excavations or these findings to be announced, since the first shipwreck was found in 2016? And one of the reasons was the very real threat of looting, which has been common for historical shipwrecks in Southeast Asian waters. In fact, the NHB said earlier today that when the first wreck was located in 2016, there was some evidence that suggested that looting had taken place.
Well, Keng Gene, could you help underscore the significance of this find, the fact that it involves marine archaeology versus something land-based?
Well, Olivia, to put things in a nutshell, this is the first time in Singapore that a historical shipwreck has been found and excavated. It's significant because other archaeological excavations that have taken place here have been land-based, whether in Fort Canning or in Empress Place, and the latest one of note took place in Empress Place in 2015. And as far as I know, that has been the direction for archaeological surveys here. That has been land-based. So it's really nice and surprising that an accidental find in 2015 has sort of shifted focus towards what the waters can uncover. And I think moving forward, NHB is not ruling out the possibility of conducting more maritime archaeological excavations, but at the moment what they're saying is that these two shipwrecks found in 2016 and 2019 are going to keep their hands full for a while, and a lot of research is going to have been done is going to be done in the coming years to figure out what exactly the significance of the artifacts that are being found are. And I guess for Singapore as a whole, you know, we always talk about our maritime history and the significance of the shipping industry. Even now, if you do a quick Google search, it says that maritime industry contributes 7% to Singapore's GDP. And for all that shipping history that we've never had a historical shipwreck found here. So I guess now when we're talking about Singapore's maritime history and maritime heritage, this is the first time that we can actually have something to show for it. And it's going to be hopefully the first of many finds moving forward in the coming years.
Right. Well, this story is certainly very interesting. So thank you very much for coming on the show to share more, Keng Gene. That was my colleague Ng Keng Gene, journalist at the Straits Times. For more on this discovery, there are pictures, videos, interviews and more on ST's website. The link is in the description below if you're watching us on YouTube.